Once upon a time, Mother Earth was overburdened by hundreds and thousands of military phalanxes of various conceited demons. She approached Lord Brahma for relief. Mother Earth assumed the form of a cow. Very much distressed, with tears in her eyes, she appeared before Lord Brahma and told him about her misfortune.
My dearest Bhumi, why are you so aggrieved? Why have you come to see me? Please tell me how I can help you.
My dear Lord Brahma, what are we to do? The earth is in a terrible state, and everywhere there is calamity and misfortune. The ruling kings, who are supposed to be representatives of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, are actually demons posing as members of the royal order. Everyone is in fear of their lives, and I am powerless. Please help me.
Indeed, this is terrible news, but alone I am unable to rectify this. Let us immediately go along with all the other demigods to the distant shores of the ocean of milk, and there I will enter into deep meditation in order to realize the intentions of the Supreme Lord.
Lord Kshirodakshayi Vishnu resides on a planet in this universe called Svetadweep, upon which there is a wondrous ocean of milk. There he lies on his couch, formed by Sheshnag, the many-headed serpent, directing all living entities from within their hearts as Supersoul. At this sacred place, Lord Brahma and the demigods arrived and invoked sacred mantras to satisfy the Lord. Lord Brahma offered his obeisances to the Lord and sat in meditation. Spiritual knowledge was originally received through the medium of the heart, and in this way Lord Brahma received instruction from the Lord.
O demigods, please hear from me my instructions and execute them without delay. Before you submitted your petition to me, I was already aware of the distress of earth, and therefore I will personally appear as the son of Vasudeva in order to diminish the burden of the earth. And as long as I am present, all the demigods should appear through plenary portions as sons and grandsons of the Yadu dynasty.
My dear demigods, the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself will shortly appear in the world as the son of Vasudeva. Even before our petition, the Lord was already aware of the distress on earth. It is his desire that all of you should appear through plenary portions as sons and grandsons of the Yadu dynasty.
Vasudeva, the son of Shurasen, just after marrying Devaki, was going home on his chariot with his newly wedded wife. At that time, Kans, the most demoniac of all the kings of the Bhoj dynasty, in order to please his sister Devaki, had voluntarily taken the reins of the horses of Vasudeva's chariot and was driving. The procession was passing very pleasingly, when suddenly there was a miraculous sound vibrating from the sky, which especially announced to Kans.
Hans, you're such a fool! You are driving the chariot of your sister and your brother-in-law, but you do not know that the 8th child of your sister will kill you!
No! I will kill her immediately, before she gives birth to any child.
You are the pride of your family, the Bhoj dynasty, and great heroes praise your qualities. How can such a qualified person as you kill a woman, your own sister, especially on the occasion of her marriage? On the whole, the position is so delicate that if you kill her, It will go against your high reputation. My dear brother-in-law, please consider that you have no danger from your sister. You are awaiting some danger because you have heard a prophetic voice from the sky. But the danger is to come from the sons of your sister, who are not present now. And who knows, there may or may not be sons in the future. Considering all this, you are safe for the present. If there are any sons born, I promise that I will present all of them to you for necessary action.
Oh, my most virtuous Vasudev, what a considerate decision you have made. I know that you are a man of great honesty, and that you will keep your word. Devaki need fear my wrath no longer. Let us proceed to your residence and continue with the wedding celebrations.
In due course of time, Devaki gave birth to her first child. When this son was born, Vasudev kept his word of honor and immediately brought the child before Kans.
My dear Kans, in accordance with the promise I made to you at the time of my marriage, I am now presenting you with my firstborn child for you to deal with as you wish.
Vasudev, I am most surprised to see you keeping your word of honor in such a noble fashion. In fact, I am quite moved. You need not present this child to me. In any case, I am not in danger from this child. I have heard that the 8th child born of you and Devaki will kill me. Why should I accept this child unnecessarily? You may take him back.
Being aware of Kansa's compassion upon Vasudev, the great sage Narada Muni immediately appeared at that place, being very anxious to accelerate the appearance of Lord Krishna.
My dear King Kans, I observed your compassionate dealings with Vasudev. That was indeed very wise of you. I must inform you, however, that there are now many auspicious signs for the appearance of Lord Krishna. Nanda Maharaj and all the coward families are now residing in Vrindavan. Vasudev, his father Surasen, and all his relatives born in the Yadu dynasty are preparing for the appearance of the Lord. I warn you, Kans, there are many demigods, friends, and well-wishers of the Lord that are being born into these families. And therefore, any one of the children of Devaki may very well be the Lord himself.
In that case, we will take no chance. Guards! Fetch Vasudev and Devaki! Immediately put them in the prison and shackle them tightly. Any day, any moment he'll come. He'll be here to kill me.
Within the prison, shackled by iron chains, Vasudev and Devaki gave birth to a male child year after year, and Kans, thinking each of the babies to be an incarnation of Vishnu, killed them one after another. He was particularly afraid of the 8th child, but after the visit of Narad, he came to the conclusion that any child might be Krishna, therefore it was better to kill all the babies who took birth of Devaki and Vasudev. There is nothing very astonishing about this, for the demoniac can kill anyone for their nefarious ambitions. When Devaki became pregnant for the 7th time, the child within her womb was none other than the plenary portion of the Supreme Lord, known as Ananta. On the order of the Lord, his Yogamaya potency transferred Ananta from the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini, one of the other wives of Vasudev. Therefore, the 7th pregnancy was considered a miscarriage. The Lord then ordered Yogamaya to appear as the daughter of Nanda and Jasoda in Vrindavan. Shortly afterwards, the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself appeared in the mind of Vasudev, and then later in the mind of Devaki. At that auspicious time, Devaki became transcendently beautiful.
Any day, any moment, he will come and kill me. Oh. I haven't eaten for days. Servant, get me some food. Oh, no! poisoned. Let me sleep. I must sleep.
Krishna,
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 Krishna, Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna,
Oh no! He's in my dreams! Today, Devaki looks beautiful and effulgent. Surely Vishnu has entered into her womb. She has never looked so beautiful. What is to be done with her? So now it is certain that Vishnu has come to execute the mission of the demigods. What is my duty now? The Supreme Lord, who knows his purpose, will not give up his prowess. Devaki is a woman. She is my sister, and she is pregnant. If I kill her, my reputation, opulence, and duration of life will surely be vanquished. A person who is cruel is regarded as dead while living. For while he is living or after he is dead, everyone condemns him. And after the death of a person in the bodily concept of life, he is undoubtedly transferred to the lowest region of hell.
At that time, Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, accompanied by great sages like Narad, Devala, and Vyas, and by other demigods like Indra, Chandra, and Varuna, invisibly approached the room of Devaki, where they all joined to offer their respectful obeisances and prayers to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Our dear Lord, it is very difficult to understand your eternal personal form. People in general are unable to understand your actual form. Therefore, you are personally appearing. Somehow, people can understand the different incarnations of your Lordship, but they are puzzled to understand the eternal form of Krishna, with two hands, moving among human beings exactly like one of them. This eternal form of your Lordship is ever increasing in transcendental pleasure for the devotees. But for the non-devotees, this form is very dangerous.
O lotus-eyed Lord, by concentrating once in meditation on your lotus feet, which are the reservoir of all existence, and by accepting those lotus feet as the boat by which one can cross the ocean of nescience, one follows in the footsteps of great Mahajans and saintly persons. By this simple process, one can cross the ocean of nescience as easily as one steps over the hoofprint of a calf.
Dear Mother Devaki, within your womb is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, appearing with his plenary expansions. He is the original personality, appearing for our welfare. Therefore, you should not be afraid of your brother, the king of Bhoja. Your son, Lord Krishna, has appeared for the protection of the Yadu dynasty.
Thereafter, at the auspicious time of the appearance of the Lord, the entire universe was surcharged with all the qualities of goodness, beauty, and peace. The constellation Rohini appeared. The sun, the moon, and other planets were very peaceful. All directions appeared very pleasing, and the beautiful stars twinkled in the cloudless sky. Decorated with towns, villages, mines, and pasturing grounds, the earth seemed all auspicious. The rivers flowed with clear water, and the lakes and vast reservoirs full of lilies and lotuses were extraordinarily beautiful. In the trees and green plants full of flowers and leaves, birds like cuckoos and swarms of bees began chanting with sweet voices for the sake of the demigods. A pure breeze began to blow, pleasing the sense of touch and bearing the aroma of flowers. When the Brahmins, engaged in ritualistic ceremonies, ignited their fires according to Vedic principles, the fires burned steadily, undisturbed by the breeze. Thus, when the birthless Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was about to appear, the saints and Brahmins who had always been disturbed by demons like Kans and his men felt peace within the core of their hearts. The Kinnaras and Gandharvas began to sing auspicious songs, and the Apsaras began to dance in jubilation. The demigods and great saintly persons showered flowers in a joyous mood, and the clouds gathered in the sky and very mildly thundered, making sounds like those of the ocean waves. Then the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, who is situated in the core of everyone's heart, appeared from the heart of Devaki in the dense darkness of night, like the full moon rising on the eastern horizon.
My dear Lord, I can understand who you are. You are the Supreme Personality, and you have appeared in your own eternal form, which is directly perceived by us. Because I am afraid of Kangs, you have appeared just to deliver me from that fear. Oh, you do not belong to this material world. You are the same person who brings about the cosmic manifestation just by glancing at it.
My dear Lord, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, because you are the original director of everything. Therefore, I request you to save me from the cruel hands of Kangs. I understand that this transcendental form is generally perceived by great sages in meditation. But I am still afraid, because as soon as Kangs understands that you have appeared, he might harm you. So please conceal this four-armed form of your lordship and become invisible to our material eyes.
My dear Devaki and Vasudeva, because you have both practiced sense control and strict austerities to please me, for 2 of your lifetimes I have appeared as your child. I gave you a benediction that I would appear 3 times as your son. So now I have appeared in my Vishnu form, just to convince you that I am that same Supreme Personality of Godhead, again taken birth in your womb. My dear father and mother, you therefore raised me many times, and I am very much pleased with the love and affection you have given me, and I assure you that this time you shall come back home to Godhead on account of your perfection in your mission. I know you are very concerned about me and afraid of Kangs. Therefore, I order you to take me immediately to Gokul and replace me with the daughter who has just been born to Yasoda.
After thus instructing his father and mother, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, remained silent. In their presence, by his internal energy, he then transformed himself into a small, human-like child. By the influence of Yoga Maya, all the doorkeepers of the prison then fell fast asleep, their senses unable to work. When the sun arises, the darkness automatically disappears. Similarly, when Krishna appeared, the closed doors, which were strongly pinned with iron and locked with iron chains, opened automatically. Anantanag, an expansion of Krishna, followed Vasudeva with hoods expanded to protect Vasudeva and the child. Because of constant rain sent by the demigod Indra, the river Yamuna was filled with deep water, foaming about with fierce waves. However, the river gave way to Vasudeva and allowed him to cross. When he reached the home of Nanda Maharaj, he saw that all the cowherd men were fast asleep. Thus he placed his own son on the bed of Jasoda. Then he picked up her daughter, who was the expansion of Yogamaya, and returned to his residence, the prison house of Kans. Vasudeva placed the female child on the bed of Devaki. Then he bound his legs with iron shackles, and thus remained there as before.
Master! Master! I hear some crying in the prison. There must be a new baby born.
What? Take me there. Here is Kala, the supreme time factor, which has taken birth to kill me. Quickly!
My dear brother, all good fortune unto you. Oh, do not kill this girl. She will be your daughter-in-law. Indeed, it is unworthy of you to kill a woman. My dear brother, by the influence of destiny, you have already killed many babies, each of them as bright and beautiful as fire. But kindly spare this daughter. Give her to me as your gift. I am very poor, being bereft of all my children, but still I am your sister, and therefore it would be worthy of you to give this last child as a gift.
Personality of Godhead, who has been your enemy from the very beginning, but who will certainly kill you, has already taken his birth somewhere else. Therefore, do not unnecessarily kill other children. Yes, Counts, you should tremble and be filled with fear, for your death is near at hand.
After hearing the words of the goddess Durga, Kans was immediately struck with wonder, and thus he approached his sister Devaki and brother-in-law Vasudeva and released them from their shackles, and then very humbly spoke.
Alas, my sister, alas, my brother-in-law, I am indeed so sinful that exactly like a man-eater who eats his own child, I have killed so many sons born of you. Being merciless and cruel, I have forsaken all my relatives and friends. Therefore, like a person who has killed a Brahmin, I do not know to which planet I shall go, either after death or while breathing. I am surprised, however, that the celestial prophecy has not come true. False propaganda is found not only in the human society, now it appears that even the celestial denizens speak lies. Because I believed in the words of the celestial voice, I have committed so many sins by killing the children of my sister. Please don't be aggrieved by this. Actually, this was not done by me, because all these were predestined activities. One has to act according to the predestined plan, even unwillingly. My dear sister Devaki and brother-in-law Vasudeva, kindly excuse the atrocities which I have committed against you. I am very poor-hearted, and you are so great-hearted. So please take compassion on me and excuse me.
While Kans was speaking to his brother-in-law and sister, tears flowed from his eyes, and he fell down at their feet. Believing the words of Durga Devi, whom he had tried to kill, Kans immediately released his brother-in-law and sister from the prison house, and very sympathetically showed his friendship just like a family member. After speaking with Vasudeva and Devaki in such an illuminating way, Kans became very pleased, and his guilt for killing his nephews subsided. Then he took permission from his brother-in-law and sister, and returned home with a relieved mind. The next morning in the house of Nanda Maharaj, Mother Jasoda awoke to find her beautiful child. Immediately it was announced that a son was born of Jasoda. Nanda Maharaj called learned astrologers and Brahmins to perform the birth ceremony. Many friends and relatives came to offer gifts and to greet the Lord, who was appearing just like an ordinary child, although he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Abrahmastambara-padyantam sarvang maya-mayam jagat satyam satyam punah satyam harinameva kevalam saguru sapita Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Dikshaye chet sadasmastu harinameva kevalam.
Unfortunately, Kansa's repentance was short-lived, and influenced by the advice of his demoniac associates, he decided to persecute all the Brahmins and Vaishnavas. For 15 years, Krishna, along with his brother Balaram, remained hidden in Vrindavan, enjoying his eternal pastimes with the inhabitants of that transcendental place. Kansa sent many demons to search out and kill the Lord, but Krishna easily destroyed each of them. When Krishna was 15 years old, he returned to Mathura along with Balaram and the cowherd friends. At that time, Kansa arranged for Krishna and Balaram to take part in a wrestling match, thinking that his mighty wrestlers Chanura and Mushtik would easily kill such young boys.
Just see now, Krishna and Balaram are approaching the wrestling arena. How fortunate are the residents of Rajabhumi, for by seeing Krishna's beauty, they forget all sorts of material fatigue.
Surely Krishna's appearance in the Yadu dynasty makes it the most celebrated family in the whole universe.
My dear Krishna and Balaram, you are indeed great heroes. And as we have heard, that while herding the cows in the forest, you sometimes enjoy the sport of wrestling. The king and all the people present here desire to see your wrestling abilities, and as citizens of the state, it is your duty to comply.
Oh, mighty wrestler, this offer of wrestling is a great favor to us, but we are simply boys. Sometimes we play in the forest of Vrindavan with friends, but for us to fight great wrestlers like you would not be very pleasing to the audience.
My dear Krishna, you are not just ordinary boys, but are transcendental to everyone. Already you have killed many mighty allies of the king, and therefore it behooves you to compete with us.
After the wrestlers thus expressed their determination, Krishna confronted Chanur and Balaram faced Mushtik. They joined palm to palm, calf to calf, and head to head. The fighting increased step by step, and all the arts of wrestling were perfectly displayed. But the audience was unhappy to see such an unequal match.
Even in front of the king, this wrestling is going on between incompatible sides.
Look, Mushtik and Chanura are just like thunderbolts, and Krishna and Balaram are two delicate little boys. The principle of justice has already left the assembly. People who are aware of the civilized principles of justice will not remain to watch this unfair match.
When Lord Krishna understood that the people in the assembly were anxious for him, he decided not to continue wrestling, but to kill the wrestlers immediately. He caught hold of the two hands of Chanur and began to wheel him around, and simply by this centrifugal action, Chanur lost his life. Mushtika then struck Balaram, and Balaram returned the stroke with great force. Mushtika began to tremble, and blood and vomit flowed from his mouth. Distressed, he gave up his vital force and fell down just as a tree falls in a hurricane. All the people gathered there began to clap in great ecstasy, and no one could estimate the bounds of their pleasure. Only Kams was morose, and immediately he stood up, his heart filled with great anger.
Stop! I order that these two sons of Vasudeva be immediately driven out of Mathura. The cowherd boys who have come with them should be plundered and all their riches taken away. Arrest Nanda Maharaj at once and kill him for his cunning behavior, and kill the rascal Vasudeva without delay. My father Ugrasena, who has always supported my enemies against my will, should also be killed.
When Kansa spoke in this way, Krishna became very angry, and he jumped over the guards surrounding him. Kans prepared to defend himself with sword and shield, but the Supreme Lord caught hold of him and immediately knocked the crown from his head. He grabbed Kansa's long hair and dragged him from his seat to the wrestling arena and threw him down. Then Krishna straddled his chest and began to strike him over and over again. Simply from the strokes of his fist, Kansa lost his vital force. From the day Kans heard that he would be killed by the 8th son of Devaki, he was always thinking of Krishna 24 hours a day without any stoppage, even while he was eating, while he was walking, while he was breathing. And therefore he naturally got the blessing of liberation. In the Bhagavad Gita it is stated, Sada tadbhava bhavita. A person gets his next life according to the thoughts in which he is always absorbed. Kans was thinking of Krishna with his wheel, which means Narayan, who holds a wheel, conch shell, lotus flower, and club. From this instance, we can understand that even a person who thinks of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as an enemy gets liberation and a place in the Vaikuntha planet. So what to speak of the pure devotees who are always absorbed in favorable thoughts of Krishna?
Rama